What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business and Biceps. And you better wake your ass up, because on today's show, we're going to talk about why are you so afraid to share those deep items? Are you not sure how people are going to react, John Fosco? But guess what? That's how they're going to actually know you.
Cory, before we move forward, you need to clarify deep items. Can you be a bit more specific so people don't get it twisted?
There's no items being inserted anywhere, John.
I'm not. Yeah, go ahead.
Deep emotional items. Let's call it.
Or things that carry deep meaning, correct?
Yeah, I mean, just things that are real about you, because everybody has those things. And a lot of people are just too scared to share them because they're afraid of the reaction of others. And I think this topic is really necessary, John.
Yeah, let's start, and this may sound selfish, let's start thinking about ourselves first in a holistic way and not what others are going to think and say first. That way we can kind of live our truth. And obviously that sounds fairly deep because I am Socrates, like many people call me.
Aristotle.
Okay? That's a lot of sliding into my DMs with Socrates references. Fucking sick of it, to be honest. But he was a wise man. But yeah, we're gonna break it down so it relates to everybody.
All right, John. Well, without further ado, I think we bring in the butt himself.
Well,
right?
Well, we need Sir Mix-a-Lot first.
Of course.
So hit play.
All right, everyone. Keep on sending us questions at Biz and Biceps on Instagram and Twitter. When we use your question on the air, we'll send out a free T-shirt for you.
Oh,
nice. Very nice. Even after John's rash.
But Life Q1. But Life Q1.
Hey, we need some new T-shirts.
Hey, hang on. We need to be Hispanic friendly. But Life numero uno.
Question number 1. What are your business thoughts on online vintage clothing stores, specifically in the sports world? I love my job as a student pastor way too much to ever leave it, but I'm looking into businesses on the side and thought this would be an intriguing, fun hobby to add in.
I think it's great you have an interest in it, but I don't think it will be intriguing and or fun. I think those will be the last two adjectives you use to describe it if you choose to put up your money to go into it, if it's a side business. Because first off, clothing, fashion, oh my God, is that saturated. And if you want to start a website that has retro clothing and all this stuff you're referring to, you're going to have to sink some dough into it. And when you sink dough into something, it very quickly becomes not a side hustle. It becomes a right in front of your fucking face hustle, because if you don't get that money back, you got a problem. So if there's something else on your plate that you're doing and you think just setting up a website and moving inventory is going to be smooth, it's not, brother. Moving clothing online, look at it like this. You are one fish in the whole motherfucking ocean, okay? I'll ask Cory a quiz. Cory, how many oceans are there in the world?
7.
That's continents, brother. That's continents, dude.
12. I don't know. How many oceans are there?
4.
Atlantic, Pacific. What's the other 2? Indian. And
Antarctic.
Hey, I got 3 out of 4.
Arctic. Yeah. Okay.
3
out of 4. I'm proud of you.
I did not get an A in geometry or in geology or science.
Okay. No, I and this gentleman needs your advice.
Hey, I could give him way better advice than this than I can in fucking any of those topics.
There you go. Prof G, let's hit it.
Yeah. Hey, I am a professor, even though I answered that question really fucking wrong. All right, so and that is epic, Trey.
Yeah,
hopefully you got that.
Don't let Don at Columbus State hear this.
Mama, I made it. All right. Hey, so here's the deal. Here's what I would do. I would test out your theory of excitement for this side business.
Whoa.
All right. Just on flipping stuff on eBay or Etsy or whatever the area online is that this happens, I would go find a few pieces that you're interested in that you would like to potentially collect or think
dime pieces,
would.
Cory?
Yeah, and just get a couple things that don't cost you a ton of money that you might be able to upcharge a little bit because of, there's a heavy following around, and just see what it all entails. If this thing explodes, you're finding a lot of excitement in it, and you want to then go and sink money into a full-blown website operation, which, like to John said, then doesn't become just some fun hobby. Now you got 10G into a site and you're got all this inventory. That's a whole different set of things going on. I would say feed the little thing that's kind of eating at you with just some flipping some items on eBay or Etsy, and then just kind of go from there and see how you like it. That's what my advice would be. Scratch your itch.
Butt life. Q2.
How many oceans
Butt
are there?
life.
How many seas are there,
Numero
Jeremy?
dos.
Number 2. My girlfriend and I recently moved to new companies where we're both making more money. Although she has more work experience and I will be making more money in my new role. Is it wrong for me to not tell her that I will be making more? She has in the past mentioned that learning others make more money than her has driven her to have a negative outlook on the companies she's worked at and leave. I'm not going to hide money from her, but I don't want her to consume herself with the fact that I make more.
So let me ask you this, Jeremy, aka Butt Life. Is he saying that she has said in the past that people outside of the company she works for, when she finds out that they make more money, she gets upset, or only people in the company she works for?
It sounds like other companies.
Oh, so basically anybody.
Basically anybody.
Anybody that makes more money than her, she fucking hates.
So listen,
sucks.
listen, brother man. Listen, brother man.
She hates you, John.
Your girlfriend's a bitch. Yeah, okay, that's the truth, because what a fucking hater. Like what a fucking hater. There's always going to be somebody in better shape than you. There's always going to be someone better looking. There's always going to be someone who makes more money than you. And if you're consumed, first off, it sounds like she's fairly successful. If you're fairly successful and you get upset because someone makes more, like, what does that say? What kind of shitty fucking person is going to take their energy, make it negative, project it on someone else's successes because it makes them feel smaller? Like, do a little bit of breakdown on your girl, my man. And here's what I hope. I hope when you think about this and you listen to what I just said, I hope you dump the bitch, because that's all she is. She's jealous. And if you even think that she would have a problem with you making more money and she wouldn't be happy for you that you're succeeding, bro, come on.
Listen, my wife was never upset that I made more money than her, because if you're actually like a unit together, like you're in this together, it's all about your family. It's about you guys progressing. So if this was somebody that you believe you're going to be with, first off, you should never, if your money's not together, let me start off there. It's your girlfriend. Last time I checked, you probably don't have the same fucking checking account. So is it really all the way enough for her business? Probably not. 2, the fact that you think that it could be an issue is a fucking problem, because you cannot have hate inside your own house. If you have competition, you guys are pushing each other, that's cool. And even that's a little tricky, I think, at times.
Yes,
but if you have hate inside your house, which I have seen with friends of mine that actually went through this, where their wife progressively hated their life more, and the husband progressively did better and loved his life and actually moved on, and enjoyed it. And there was resentment that was created, and it wasn't even based on an actual dollar figure. It was actually based on quality of life. And instead of her just getting off her ass and fucking doing something and taking a risk, she fucking eventually resented the other guy so much that they ended up losing what they had in the past, which they were really happy. At the end of the day, if somebody has that underlying potential hate, there's no way that long term that's going to work, bro. You gotta have support in your own household.
You need a cheerleader, dude. Even have her put on the outfit if she's supportive.
Listen, I've said it a million times that if you come home and you have static, it's really hard to be a successful person, because you can't go out in the workforce or in the business world and fight all day for what is yours and what your team's trying to get, and then come home and continue to fight. It's a tireless process in my mind, that never works out in your favor.
But you could come home to a cheerleader with pom-poms looking nice. So that's the deal, Jeremy. So Jeremy, Butt Life Q3, Butt Life numero tres.
Q3. So I'm in college and want to get in the best shape of my life, or get in my best shape. I'm willing to follow any crazy workouts or diet. I love it. I work out 2+ hours a day and want to push myself. Any suggestions?
Cory, I'll let you go first. Professor Fitness.
Hey, listen, first off, I would go to maxeffortmuscle.com. Shameless
Just
plug,
get
John
jacked
Fosco.
on that website.
Yes.
Just getting jacked.
Absolutely. There's a bunch of
Amino recoveries.
There's a bunch of free content there. And also, we have an amazing product lineup. My products that I like to use is the Fat Burner, Pre to the Dome, which is our pre-workout. It's not called to the Dome, but you take it to the Dome. Amino Recovery for post-workout, the greens, and don't forget the CBD relief for your joints. So look, check out Max Effort Muscle. And I do have some paid stuff that's on CoryGFitness.com. You're more than welcome to check it out. But at the end of the day, you need to find a trainer or a person that you either like their style or the way that they lift or have similar goals. Find somebody that lives the life. So find somebody that's drug-free. And sometimes people come to see my workouts and are like, I don't really want to fucking deadlift 500 pounds. I want to be able to run the best 2-mile time. Well, that's probably not my workout. You know what I'm saying? Like we lunge a half mile every day. So you just got to go and look through and see the best workout and diet plan is the one that you'll actually follow because you're into it.
Yep.
I mean, that's the best advice.
So yeah, well, I think my advice is about to be better. So I've been bringing sexy back for about 2 years now.
Yes,
and the way I've been doing that is no, it's actually been about 4 months now. But I've been splitting my workouts. Okay, unfortunately, I do not have an online site like Cory, so I'm jealous. But I've been splitting my workouts into your traditional weights in the morning. That's why I'm fucking huge. Everyone knows it. And then beyond that, it's a fact. And then beyond that, what I've been doing is I quit the pussy conditioning stuff. You know, get on the treadmill, fucking jog like a fuck that shit. I started getting up on a motherfucking track and grabbing anywhere from 80 pounds to 100 pounds, split them in each hand and doing fucking farmer's carries. So not only is that cardio that destroys almost every muscle group, but what it forces you to do and what it's done for me is improved my fucking posture immensely. It's ripped my shoulders back. It's stretched my chest out. My upper back is way more fucking muscular and my physical conditioning is just way fucking better. So do 2-a-days. Hit your normal weight splits in the morning. I'm sure you could figure that out on Cory's website. And then go for a mile, go for 2 miles, carrying weights, and don't quit, man. It's a great test in mental fortitude, and you will get stronger, you will get leaner, and hopefully one day you'll look like me.
What I want to add to that, John, is I love that topic because not doing just recumbent bike or fucking let me jog a mile and a half. Like, every motherfucker I see out jogging, none of them are in shape.
Dude,
you ever notice that?
That's what a fat tit guy is.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I see these cats out here running, unless they're like a beanpole and they're running like 100 fucking miles. All the motherfuckers I see on my street running, none of them are in shape. None of them.
No,
so it's like, look,
flabby fruit bats.
Do the thing, like the stuff that John's talking about, farmer carrying, you're doing, you say 50s or 60s now, John? What are you doing?
50s, 45. So anywhere from 100 pounds total to 70 pounds total, depending on the distance.
And the distance is normally
a mile to 2.5 miles.
Dude, in the similar to me doing a half-mile lunges, or you can do sled drags, or you can load up a fucking wheelbarrow. Like those type of, they're like manual labor style conditioning things over top of jog and look flabby. I'm telling you, those things are huge. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the difference maker, John. There's a physical component to this type of conditioning that it hits so many areas, and you've seen huge benefits from it. It's been
absolutely. Listen, guys out there. There's two AFs. One is anabolic fasting. The other is anabolic Fosco. Okay, so that's it.
I love it.
That's
I love it.
That's all I'm going to give you for free. If you want more advice, it's so expensive you can't afford it.
It's time for Fosco's World.
They never stop cheering, Corey. I don't know if you can hear
I'm
it.
aware.
Yeah, I know you're fucking in a different state right now when you're there.
And I can hear it.
Yeah.
What you
All right,
got,
Corey.
Johnny?
All right, Corey. Thank you to everybody who's in attendance and cheering and standing up now. But you can sit down. So what I want to touch on in my world today is the space that we play in right now from the podcast world, right? So we started this podcast with the intention of helping people. We didn't start this podcast with the intention of making ourselves look a certain way or using an audience that we could theoretically build at the beginning to push our agenda forward. Will I be completely open and honest in telling you that we make money on sponsors? Of course we do. But the intention here was to share experience and information. Okay. I have a message / severe problem with what this industry, and it is an industry now and it's getting larger by the day, has turned into. So people who try to help others through business on social media, in the podcast world, they're a dime a dozen now. They're literally a dime a dozen, and they all rip off Gary Vee and try to put a signature on something and put a fucking recycled quote up. And then they try to, this is where it gets me, Core, and this is what I really want to talk about. They try to motivate people who want to be motivated. See, this is a special thing. It's rare to find young people and people in general that want to be motivated. So true. These people that want to be motivated, like our listeners, these other guys, they find them. And what they use to motivate them, and these people who want to be motivated, they put their trust in the people they're looking up at, right? So whether it's podcasters or online guys who talk about success, so they put their trust in them. And these motherfuckers show them jewelry. They show them planes. They show them all the luxuries in life that only should be attained, worn, used, bought if you achieve a severe level of success. Now, these people who are looking for motivation, they are so far from that. They're trying to just find a path. Okay, it's safe to say these are not earners, right? They're trying to find a path. And what these other fucking assholes are doing them is they're creating a gap for them. They're creating a gap that's so huge by putting out all their fucking cars and this and that it's like, okay, I'm going to get motivated. I'm going to listen to you. And then when I actually do get this opportunity that you've been telling me, if I fucking read your courses and I fucking listen to your Instagram channel, if I do get this opportunity, my salary is only 40 grand. I can't fucking buy that piece of jewelry. I can't go buy that car. I can't fucking rent a jet. I can't do any of this shit. But that's what I've been exposed to. That's what this whole game is all about. So when you are talking to people that are looking for motivation and you motivate them with things that they're 10, 20, 30 years away from, what you're doing over time, but you just can't see it right now, is you're demotivating them. Because when they get to the starting line, which is the most important place in your career, the starting line, it's all about attitude. It's all about attitude in how you approach that starting line. And if you approach that starting line with the understanding that 40 grand is the fucking entry fee, and I'm going to get to these things by fucking not counting the years, not buying these luxuries, but fucking working my fucking ass off. See, they don't look at it that way. They look at it like, why the fuck don't I have the car? Why don't I have this? Because these people who are supposed to be online mentors and people who can share knowledge because they've been through it before, that people are looking up to online, They're just showing them their immaculate houses, their immaculate cars, their shoes, all this shit that they're not going to get. And it's self-serving, because here's the thing. When you're a guy who has a podcast or does this, and you have all those things, and you're charging people that don't have money, that just want to be motivated, they don't even have the money to pay you, but they find the money to pay you because they think if they listen to you, they're going to have what you have. But what these fucking assholes aren't telling them is this shit is accumulated over 20, 30 fucking years. And you should not talk to someone young. You should not talk to a young person about the luxuries of fucking life when they're just starting in on their career. They need to be told about the fucking pain and the torture and the need to be great at something, not the luxuries of life. The luxuries of life are easy. If you got fucking a couple mil in your bank account or more, you can go buy them. That's it. You can go fucking buy them. We don't need to talk about them. We need to talk about how you get better at shit. But these motherfuckers want to talk about the luxuries in life because the luxuries in life look good online. They're easy to get likes. They're easy to get follows. They're easy to get clicks. And I just want people who are listening, I just want you to understand that these motherfuckers don't give a shit about you. They're using you with those visuals, and they want your money so they can continue to buy the cars and the planes and the houses that they have.
Yeah. I mean, you said it very well, Johnny. I mean, that's the world we live in right now. And I always make sure when somebody asks me about an item or about a certain level of business, they'll be like, yo, I think they want a different answer, but I always give them the coldest answer. They'd be like, yo, how did you get that? Or how did you get to that spot? I'm like, I signed up for 20 years of work. This took 20 years. And they look at me with this fucking blank stare, like, fuck. I don't go like, oh yeah, man, 36 months, hit this big little deal, blah, blah, blah. Nah, motherfucker, 20 years. And I think, and I'll say yo, and I'd sign up again for it. 20 years. That I didn't know that's how long it would take. Shit, I thought I was going to be done, rich, and packed in at 30. I really had that. That's what I really thought. I didn't know any other entrepreneurs. Back in the day when we started, John, there wasn't Instagram or any of this shit to look. The resources were next to none. I didn't know anybody there was no Gary V's. There was none of this shit going on. I couldn't look to anybody and have, fucking Grant Cardone or some phantom shit going on. But Grant Cardone's been doing real estate for 25 years. He didn't just
I think
do
that's a
these
benefit
deals.
though, Core.
A benefit. Yeah, I think to
not
it is a
have
benefit.
these fucking guys. And listen,
Agreed. It
Gary,
is a benefit.
Gary's a smart guy. Grant Cardone's a pimp. I'm sure the guy knows how to make money. I'm sure he knows how to make money for himself, but he's exactly what I'm talking about. He pimps out these fucking kids who don't have, it's $2,500. Hey, God bless him from a capitalistic standpoint that he could fill a stadium or whatever the fuck he does with his 10X, do 10 times, whatever the fuck it is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're a young guy or gal and you want to come up, the last thing you should be doing with your $1,000 or $2,500 is go to a fucking poor man's fucking EDM show with a shitty DJ and watch a 55-year-old guy who's on fucking human growth hormone and fucking steroids from his 7 doctors in fucking Miami tell you how to get rich, because he's not going to tell you how to get rich. He's just telling you enough so you come back next year and it's a selfie fest, so it fills up the internet. And what I'm telling you guys is that is not where the knowledge is at. It's not, that's not where it's at. It's at places where people are not trying to ring the register with you and they literally want to give. Fuck.
Which is the reason why we started the podcast. I realized, very shortly after John and I started working together, I excuse me, I remember it plain as day. I was like, John, we got to start taping these, bro. One, you're not even on fucking social media, which I don't think you were at all at that point. no one's got to hear these things that you're saying or your background. I mean, in small groups, but not to the masses. And I had done this a couple times, and I was like, dude, these things are like on fucking fire, bro. I was getting all kinds of stuff from these conversations that you and I were having. And I'm like, dude, this has got to be like, there's so many people that need to be hearing this, because it was just the start of what John just talked about. And look, I've been this whole thing has sucked, because I had the same kind of concept going on in the bodybuilding world of unattainable things because of drugs and programs that don't work because of this and drug. Like, it's the same shit now in business. It's just caught up to bodybuilding. It's the same shit. This get rich quick, fast. Dude, all this shit takes time. Let me newsflash you real quick. That's why I tell a motherfucker when they come up to me in the gas station and they see one of the cars I got or something, I say, man, I had a kid just straight ask me that was like 20 years old. How'd you get that? I worked for 20 years. Had a kid at the memorial ask me about my watch. Dude, that's a sweet watch. 20 years of work. And you know what they say back? Ooh, I guess that's a good present. Yeah, after 20 years, motherfucker. Like, dude, I never say, oh, I just had one thing go good. I got lucky. Motherfucker, I ain't lucky. John ain't lucky.
Well,
20 years. And these other guys
though,
are pimping you that they're lucky because of some system. It's not what it is.
But here's the thing. It ain't even like kind of about that, because it's like 20 years. Yeah. For you, that's what it was. But most people aren't going to get there. And if they get there, it may be 17, it may be 27. But at the end of the day, it's why are we talking about things? Why are we talking about things? I have a car. I have a fucking house. Everyone's got a car. Why is it part of discussion? Why is that the thing that people pick out? Why, like listener?
It's because the way that everything is online, John. Because now that you say that, I can't remember a time where I might have noticed something when I was younger that someone had that I aspired to have, but I don't think I ever would like roll up on somebody in a gas station and be like, "How'd you get that?" That's like a normal thing right now, bro. It's happened to me a bunch.
I could tell you this.
It's weird more than I think about it, actually.
But before money, after money, I never ever thought to myself, oh, look at that. If only I could have that. It was never about that. It's how I feel great athletes look at sports. It was about me wanting to be better than everybody. I wanted to be fucking better. And I always knew if I was better than you, if I was better than somebody, bro, that would take care of itself. Like I said, if the money's in the goddamn account, go do what the fuck you want with it. But getting it into the account is where the conversation needs to start and stop. You like fucking jets? You like yachts? Go buy one if you make enough money. I don't need to talk to you about it. I don't need to show it to you on Instagram, so maybe you add me. I don't care if you fucking add me. I don't give a shit. But everyone else does. So,
No, the masses do. That's the fucked up
part.
And
if you are the masses, you're a stupid fuck. If you care, I want more followers, I want more likes, I want more engaged, fuck you. You're fucking the problem with our fucking society. So fuck off. Let's go to Cory Gregory time.
That was amazing, Fosco. I loved it. Hey, all right. So what I want to talk about is something John and I have been going back and forth with off and on for a little while. And it's this bizarre relationship between time and money and the value in which different people either have on it like greatly or to some degree, not at all. And let me kind of frame it up for you for a second. So this is one of the things that bother me the most out of everything is if I'm going out of my way to help somebody or they are asking for my time in some manner, family, non-family, whatever it is, and they're fucking late. Because if you do not, like, I understand, and John understands his time too. Like, I understand put it this way. The reason why I don't cut my grass, I pay for it to get cut, is I really did an equation one time, and this is going to blow some people's mind, but I live on 5 acres. It's mostly grass. it would, in a regular lawnmower, it would take me like 4 hours to cut my grass twice a week. And I thought to myself, one, I don't like cutting fucking grass. But two, do you know how much money and time I lose by not using that in a variation of my business rather than paying a service to come and do it? That's literally the way. Now, the normal people probably don't equate it that way, that don't do business, but I think you need to start doing that. Don't allow people to waste your fucking time. Look, whether you make $20,000 a year or $20 million a year, there's a value on time, because guess what? You never get it back. If I'm sitting there and I'm waiting on your ass for 30 fucking minutes when I went out of my way to help you, you're fucking wasting my life, not just my time. I could be applying it to something else of greater value. I could be putting it in my business, or you know what? Fuck off. I could be throwing the baseball with my kid, which gives me great joy. So it's like, people need to start right now. Listen to me. Start to value your time. You know, are you sleeping fucking 15 hours a day and wasting your life?
A lot of sleep.
Only sleep 8 maybe. Like, value your time. I'm not even telling you to get up at 3 a.m. I'm just saying, look at what you do. Look at how you operate around others. That's the biggest thing. Look, you do that shit to me, I don't fuck with you ever. Like, you waste my time, I might give you a second chance, but probably won't. Like, I love when people value the time, because I do it to other people. Hey, I appreciate the time for the call. Hey, I appreciate, and I feel shitty when I have to make people go out of their way because I value their time, because I want them to value mine. I think you guys just got to have some type of idea of what you are worth, whether it's, from an hourly standpoint, or just kind of look at it as a finite piece of thing that you never get back. I never get it back. I don't get it back. And I just look at it so differently. A lot of business people look at it this way, but even if you don't own your own business, I think you need to start to really look at, like, who's wasting my fucking time out here in the streets, and who's actually adding some value to my life. And that's part of, the equation of success, is like actually having that in fucking check.
I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of people who haven't made money, the reason, and this is the irony, I think, the reason they haven't made money is because they don't value time. So they can't understand the value of time because they've never made money. And like I said, it goes back and forth. But I think once you've committed to something and you understand, like, if there's anything you could have more of in this life, it's always time. To people who have been through anything, whether it be adversity, whether it be experiencing success, it's always having more time. And the more you do, the less time you have. And the less time you have, technically, theoretically, the less productive you are going to be. Obviously, you could still be very productive, within the 24 hours of the day that you're active. But until you've succeeded, you don't understand this. And here's what I'll promise you is, I promise you, you'll never succeed, ever, if you don't put a premium on your time. If you look at, like, I'm going to walk in the office today and I'm going to make it through the day, you basically, what you're saying is, I'm worthless. I am absolutely worthless to myself. I'm worthless to this company, and I'm going to try to sneak by. I'm going to try to hide. I'm going to try to duck. I'm going to try to blend in with the rest just to get a paycheck. Is that really all you think you're capable of? Because if it is, right? If it is, you should probably stop listening to this podcast, because I don't want you listening, because that's just, it's despicable to even think of a human being looking at themselves in that regard. But I promise you, if you haven't made money yet, it's because you do not place enough value on time.
Well, think about it like this, John. The reason why we value our time the way we do is because we spent all these years developing a craft that's worth value. So think about it like the opposite way. Like, somebody's thinking, they're sitting there and they're listening right now, like, fucking John, they've done all this stuff. That's why they know their value. No, it comes to you building upon it, because I have a set of skills. John has a set of skills, multiple skills that we've built up. And that if you want to utilize them, or we want to deploy them in our businesses, they're worth our Rolodex, our skill set, our fucking vision, our work ethic, all these things in our past and our future, they're all worth money. And we're not willing to give them out lightly. And so when people start to say, no, motherfucker, you want my time, it either costs this from a consulting standpoint, or you can get it for free on the podcast, or it's going to cost you equity because you want my fucking chops on this. That's what it is. Yeah. And people, but I think I want to dial it back to the craft. That's where it comes from. Whatever you do it extremely well, and people will start to pay more and more. When you become an animal / top 10% or 5% or 3, whatever of what you do, people will take notice. But it doesn't happen overnight. So value the time involved in your craft, value the time spent on it, and then as you incrementally get better, value what it costs people to fuck with you. That right there over time will get you there. But if you never really look at it or have any self value for what you do, you're right, Johnny, you're never going to succeed or be worth the hourly rate that you could be.
Yeah, I just got a question for anyone who's listening and is struggling with this. Okay, if you're listening and you think, oh yeah, these guys are talking. Okay, so let me ask you this. Why do I spend 14, 16 hours a day obsessing and working and sacrificing and working Saturdays and working Sundays? Why do I do that and not you? If I'm just a guy, oh, John can say it because of whatever. Well, listen, I'm good, bro. I'm good. But why do I do that?
And proven, by the way.
And I keep proving it. But I do that because I ain't just some talking head. Because I do value time. And that's why I use fucking time as my biggest asset. So if you think we're just sitting up here talking, I'm telling you right now, I work more than you. And I'm telling you this, I don't need to. I don't fucking need to. So if I work more than you and you don't have what you want, and you work less than me, and you think this whole point's a little twisted up about time and you don't need to put it in, why do I work more than you then? Why do I keep working more than you? And why do I keep beating you? Like, why don't you try to work more? And then recheck in on this point, because here's what we all can do. And I put myself in this category. We all can do more. We all can work more. I'm sorry. There's got to be balance in life. Okay, motherfucker. Yeah. But if you want to be successful, best of luck with that fucking comment. Okay. So that's a fact. We all can work more. We all can do more. If you don't have what you want, motherfucker, this message is for you. Time. Use it. Period.
John, I've attempted to be the most balanced guy ever. It's always out of balance, no matter how much you attempt. If you want something of great value in business, the ultimate balance doesn't exist. So everyone that's
I ain't even tried it. I ain't even tried it because I know it don't exist.
John, no, but I think it's good for people to hear those things, because like you never tried it or had to do it per se, or maybe you saw pieces of it once and you're like, fuck it, I want to be the other way. I've tried my best to keep it together, but it's still out of balance. It's just what it is. It's the life of an entrepreneur. I think I've done it better than most, but at the end of the day, it's still not in balance. I don't even know what that is really all the way.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even know what that really all the way means.
That's what people do. And it continues. Here we are every day working, and you may check in with one of us in 5 years, and one of us may be broke. One of us may be worth fucking 150 million. Both of us might be broke. Both of us might be worth 150 million. The saga continues, dudes.
Or I might be on your yacht and you're posting it on Instagram.
That won't fucking happen.
And
listen, you got a license to put a slug in the back of my fucking head if that ever happened. Jesus.
I know that wouldn't happen, but Prof G was just want to throw that one at you. All right, let's go to the main event, John.
Ring the bell, please. Thank
All right, cool. Great topics, John. I think we got some fire coming out today, man.
Fire.
I'm glad we taped today, brother.
Yes,
Glad we
fire-breathing
taped today.
dragons.
All right, so one of the
Game
topics
of
we talked about
Thrones.
actually it came birthed from a message or from a conversation we had with Trey, our video guy. He said, a lot of times I see the clips on the podcast that are super deep, and it's weird for me to send them over to my friends sometimes because the way they could react, they think that I think they got a problem, or it's almost like it's easier to send John yelling, acting crazy, or some funny shit.
Right.
It's just truth,
Yeah.
because it could hit a guitar string or a heartstring a little deeper and make them kind of provoke thought that's going to like really have to check in and think about. And people are afraid essentially to share clips that way. So it really brought up this topic of like, why are you afraid to really unlock some deep stuff when you know if you uncover that, you can get so much better? And I think there's a big problem right now with this because everybody's so guarded.
Yeah.
Did I frame that up right,
Yeah,
Johnny?
well, I think, I know the listening base doesn't know Trey very well, but for Trey to question that is probably appropriate because, I've seen Trey's friends and they're indigent degenerates. So
What, Jason Newland?
I've seen what he does. I've seen all the things that go on around him, and he
Amazing.
probably made the right decision for not sending out anything that has any intellectual capacity involved in it. So Trey, good call. But for everybody else out there, yeah, man, when there's something that's deep that speaks to your soul that you hesitate from sharing because you feel like people might think you're weird, or you might be saying to them they have a problem, you're just not where you need to be eventually. Like I always come to these thoughts where it's like, okay, well, you have to deal with things that are inevitable. Inevitably, you have to get to a place where you can express yourself. People aren't always going to like it. People aren't always going to agree with it. But when you can express yourself, that's when you're alive. You're not alive when you just express things. Oh, I think Cory's going to like this, so I'm going to send it to well, then what about you? You're prostituting your own ideals and thoughts and feelings. And what if I did think a clip was really cool and I wanted to share it with Cory and Cory didn't respond the way I hoped he did? Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. I don't give a fuck. Period. I mean, period. He may not like it. That's fine. If he fucking likes it, cool. We'll talk about it. But if he don't like it, next, like life goes on, like the next minute of my life happens, it's not a battle scar. So it's like, I think what happens is motherfuckers are like, especially young dudes and females, they want to communicate what's safe. And I'll give you an example of what's safe.
Yep.
These fucking, websites like iFunny and a cat fucking playing with a ball of yarn and a baby, calling the other one Charlie and Willie and all this fucking stupid, fucking worthless shit. They think that's fucking funny.
Mindless.
You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, I'll share that because we'll all laugh. What the fuck are you spending your time on, you fucking morons? What the fuck are you fucking morons? Like that's you are the person I hope my fucking son eventually has to compete against in the workplace or anywhere because he'll fucking kick your ass. And I don't even have a son, but he would crush you because you're a fucking idiot because you're watching fucking cat movies on YouTube all day and you're sending them around to your little group chat. Oh, this is funny. This is really fucking funny. No, it's not. You're a loser. Start talking about some shit that has some value. Not mean.
I think it.
Not mean.
Not mean. I think it really. I was thinking about that. I said this to John before we got on air. That this is like was a main topic in my first class at Columbus State because I talked about their first chapter they have to read is Definitive Purpose or Definiteness of Purpose with Andrew Carnegie, and it talks about like finding really basically what you're about, why you do what you do, and what's like the real core of it. And I got a lot of surface answers originally, but I try to tell him like, no, that's the safe answer. That's not the real answer. When I started picking and digging, and I'll do more of that on the next class, because they have to do their first few posts based around these. And a lot of them, when they actually told me the reason why, it was like a vulnerable thing, but I tried to tell him like that's where the sauce is at. Like, if I think about, if John never talked about his past and everything was just, oh, I only knew him from when we did business at MP as this fucking boss sports agent that we did lots of numbers together. And I saw the way that he what he did and kind of owned that whole space for the years that he was there. I would have never known about his drug addiction or abuse as a child or any of those things. He never had to tell me any of that stuff. And if John never brought it up, I'd never know, and neither would you guys. But would you feel the same way about John if he wasn't vulnerable and expressed those things? Fuck no, of course you wouldn't. That's what makes John John. Those are that's the cards that were dealt John. He didn't pick that for himself. You can't pick those, but things happen to you and they're you. And there was one person that remained nameless in my class, but she said there was some abuse in her life. Yeah. There's not very many people. So, but she's, mentioned there was some abuse in her life, and that's what led her to this. And those are things that when you say them, some people are going to feel a little weird about. But if that's really what happened to you, that is part of your story. That's how there'll be 8 or 10 people or 1,000 or 100,000 people to go, man, I can identify with that. That shit happened to me too. Man,
it's also part of your healing. You got to give it oxygen. You got to put it out. You got to put it out there. And if people are afraid to be vulnerable, all you're doing is you're hitting the pause button on who you really are. And like you're waiting to be convinced that there's this fake safe time to let the world know who you are. And then all of a sudden you're fucking 46 years old and you're married and you have fucking kids and you've been living a fucking fake life. It's like, dude, the sooner you get in touch and you your mystery student said she was abused, which is terrible. That's when you start to say, oh shit, okay, no one thinks I'm weird. That felt good. I'm gonna talk about it a little more.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's the next thing? Oh, I have problems trusting people because da 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 da. And then all of a sudden you start putting shit out on the table, real shit, and people aren't laughing at you. They don't think you're stupid. But the key to being able to do that is not giving a fuck what they think, but you are always, I promise you guys this, if you're on the fence and you need to share some stuff, you're always pleasantly surprised when you're vulnerable because people are inherently fucking good. I will tell you that.
I agree with that. I mean, John, the couple times that I've been choked up on this podcast, about items that were super, important to me, whether it was when I talked about my grandpa or my past and my mom or dad or whatever, like, dude, people see me as the guy with muscles and lift this weight and I'm, a fucking dedicated maniac. And like, when you open up like that's hard to do, especially in front of however many people were listening that day. But that's really how I got here. It's how you got here. It's because we went through those things. They meant that much to us. That struggle was fucking real and we were fucking fed up with it. That's what made us us. And that's why people fucking listen. That's why people get motivated. And like, everyone has that, whatever that is for them or you. And I just think you can't be afraid to share those things. Like you said, John, it's part of the healing with your friends, with your family,
absolutely.
or in this case, that I'm trying to do is, in a social media class where people are going to have to do some things and put themselves out there because they feel vulnerable. And I remember even when you first started getting on social media, John, you really weren't on it. And you were like, yeah, I know there's going to be some probably dudes from high school who are going to be like, what the fuck's John trying to talk about? But you couldn't care because you knew the bigger purpose was, if I share my stories and I share all this fucking shit I've been through all these years in business, I'm going to help somebody. Well, guess what? We help a lot of motherfuckers on this podcast. And it's because you said the same thing you're telling those people. Because I remember having that conversation with you and you were like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But,
I don't give
but
a
you knew,
shit.
but you thought about it because everybody thinks about it.
Yeah. I mean, you choose not to share things because you think people aren't capable or don't care. But I think what people overlook is it's not about them; it's about you, and you need to care about yourself, and you need to share those things so you can actually get to a point where you feel comfortable in your own skin and sharing your own views and your own opinions. But I want to kind of take it to a place we've touched on before that I can't get this fucking thought out of my head. And it's like
Sure.
the fact that, we talk about how school and parents, they do not teach emotional intelligence. And
Hmm.
when you just kind of look at the landscape of, I guess, society right now, and you compare it to walking into a business or whatever, it's amazing, I think, how many talented people, skilled people, probably very smart people come off as absolute idiots for one simple reason. They have all the skills, they have all that shit. They have degrees. They have no emotional intelligence. They don't know how to communicate in a non-narcissistic way. All they know is that they want to check their iPhone, and these people could be fucking brilliant, but there's nowhere to go to teach you this. And I really think
True.
with just the absolute explosion of everything technology, which obviously trains us to keep our head down and our phone and our head in our devices, dude, there has to be something or someone or a platform that teaches these things, because I truly believe, like I was talking to my mom about this, like if you're hiring somebody, picture they went to Harvard and they're highly skilled, but they have just this shitty attitude that's like very kind of normal nowadays, this narcissistic me first attitude. Or you have someone who, didn't go to college after high school, but they're willing to smile and they're willing to be taught. I mean, the truth of the matter is that person who has way less skill, way less education, they're more valuable to a business. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And to think
Yeah.
about it like that, that is a paradigm shift, dude.
Oh, John, I didn't know how many oceans there were. So
I know. I was going to ask you.
three
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I was three out of four. But
I believe
here's
you
the
said
deal.
12.
Did I mean I meant counting C's, John?
I still think you're way off then. I think you want to go a different direction right now.
We want to fact check
Yeah.
on that.
I don't know if you do.
Anyway, I agree with you. I think that a lot of people kind of overshoot when they think it only is about that item, this item, that degree, that piece of paper. They miss the things that are right in front of them. Treating people right, intuition, emotional intelligence, empathy, all these things that are interaction based, that my mom and the people I grew up around mostly, and really my dad taught me some ways not to act too. And you gotta get it both ways, which I'm sure you saw too at your household. It's like your mom taught you all these amazing things of how to do things and how to be. Your dad taught you things not how to be at times, which is the same shit I went through. And it's like, but in a different way. And you kind of mesh these things together. And because I really didn't have a traditional education, I knew that those things were what was going to progress me in life, that I had to be better at those items than the rest of my competition and work harder than them on top of it. And that relationship building and these items like John are talking about, that's how I got here. That's how he got here. I think that it's huge that there's a skill set there that you can't really be, I mean, I guess you can be taught, but it isn't taught.
Yeah, man. What I'm thinking is for the listener who says, "Okay, I hear what you guys just said. I want to learn how to be more emotionally intelligent. what do I do? And I was just thinking that in my head. And to that listener or listeners who's thinking that, I would just say, like, because there's nothing structured, and this, my business brain always goes off, but because there's nothing structured for that, I would just start trying it out with a group of friends and start trying to talk about things that you just don't normally talk about. So like stuff like shopping and the movies and what you watch on TV and clothing and girls, and like that's all out of bounds. So if you're sitting like taking a note right now saying, how the fuck do I become more emotionally intelligent? Grab as many people as you can that are friends and talk about the things you never talk about. Talk about the things
Yeah.
and just see how it goes, right? And I just think being in that experience is going to feel so different to people, but it's also going to open up your eyes to like, oh my God, I've been friends with him for 9 years. I didn't know he was fucking molested. For real. I'm not kidding. Like that shit comes out. And once you understand someone is molested, like, dude, it's a whole different ballgame. And there's a level of emotional intelligence that you must have when you deal with someone that's been violent. That's just an example, right? But then you learn that like people who are harmed or who have been harmed, like that as an example, you could start picking up habits of people who have been traumatically harmed. And now all of a sudden you are emotionally intelligent, or at least you are beginning that process. So it's a hard one to answer that question. I know no one asked it, but if I was a listener, I'd be thinking that I would just say, fucking talk to your friends, man, and have clear guidelines on what you cannot talk about.
Well, I think that what we've done with the podcast, John, and I believe it's helped us immensely working together, is we had outlined times to talk about stuff we might have touched on minimally, but never in depth.
Minimally
For
or minimally? There we go.
Minimally.
Prof G.
So, dude, it's just the amazingness of that just continues, John.
Yes.
And but that's the key, is we had outlined times to provoke thought on deep stuff often for hours. You know what I'm saying? Hours of deep issues and topics and things that I know there's so many times where on this podcast shit pops in my head I haven't thought about in fucking 15 years. That was relevant, that, made me feel a certain way. You're like, fuck, I forgot about that.
Corey, are you feeling some type of way?
John,
I don't know what that means. Actually, you know what, Corey? I'm going to make an executive decision. You ready?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it anyways. Okay. So I just feel like, just for the sanity and the depth of thought that I know we both go into in the show.
Yes.
I want to introduce something that just came in my head. So sorry, guys, for not talking about this with you. But called the fuck off 5, right? And the fuck off listen, the fuck off 5 is the 5 last minutes of the show where we've gotten through all the nitty gritty, all the deep shit, right? All the business fucking shit, and it's just, it's time to talk about you feeling some type of way and what that means. And like, for example,
I like it. It's off the rip.
Yeah. So here, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened today.
Okay.
I heard, I just keep hearing things like, oh, this chick's sliding up into my DMs and blah, 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 blah. So what the fuck does Corey, I don't know what that fucking means, bro. Like,
slid in your DMs?
Like I know, like someone messages you, but
it's just their message.
But why does it need to be defined as like sliding up in my?
Because it feels cooler when you say that chick slid up in my DM. That's why it feels cooler when you say it that way. It's really, she messaged you.
Okay, so why can't we say that then? Why can't we say, I got a direct message from this fucking hoe?
I don't know if she's a hoe.
Well, depending on who's well, if she's no.
Is that Jeremy laughing?
No, I don't know who it is. No. It would be depending on what type of person she is. But
correct.
I would assume if she's sliding up or in, that could be a way. That could be an adjective.
Yeah, I guess. John, what it is now we are. Well, I'm 40. You're closer to 40 than 30, and the guys
Closer
that are
to
talking
20,
are
closer to 20, dog.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up? I got a palm tree on my fucking right
The
knee.
closer to 20s, the closer to 20s are talking slit up in their DMs.
Dude, hey,
So
hey,
good.
okay, so let's talk about another thing too that I always like to
Okay.
try to figure out. Okay.
Go ahead.
So let's talk about like pizza, right? Like I always ask
Okay.
everyone this. What's up with pizza?
What about
What about it? I'm asking you.
it? Why do I like it? Or
No,
dislike
why do motherfuckers more than in my whole fucking lifetime? I've been on this planet for 38 goddamn years. Why do I got to hear about
Yeah.
pizza every day, especially from the female race or the female gender? Pizza this, pizza that. I want a pizza.
Really?
Just give me pizza and then I can fucking die happy. I had a pizza.
Really?
Everyone's pizza. I like pizza.
Yeah, see,
I want a
I don't
pizza
got that in my
parlor.
life.
What is it?
That's interesting. Well, I mean, okay. First off, we're of Italian descent. Pizza's a
Dude,
big
my
deal.
dad owned a pizza parlor. I know pizza.
So did my grandpa too. And so it was like, I think the pizza from where you grew up at.
You're changing the subject. You're taking this away from pop culture.
No, what I'm saying is I don't even understand it because I don't have that.
You're in the room with Trey. Ask Trey if girls talk about pizza a lot.
Trey, do girls talk about pizza a lot? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Ask him.
Comfort food.
Is there a sexual connection with pizza? Is there no? Is a girl eating a slice of pizza? Is it like saying, and this I seriously want to know, is it like saying I can eat this food, motherfucker, and still look like this? What is it like that?
Is it like a sexual thing? Like they're saying I can eat this and still look hot? He doesn't.
Well, I need to know more than what he thinks.
Maybe you should ask Jason Newland. He should know. Oh, that's okay. So Trey's saying we got our resident 19-year-old. He said they want you to still tell them after they eat those items that they still.
Now we got it. Now we're making fucking progress here. Okay, so
is that what you were getting?
No, I wasn't getting it. I'm trying to learn.
You don't know.
I'm trying to learn.
Okay,
so now the female race or gender, whatever we'll call it.
I didn't even know this was like.
Well, now you do because of the 5-minute fuck off or the fuck off 5. Okay, see this is what we do here.
5.
So so you still look good after you eat pizza, like This is a problem, Cory, because
I outlawed pizza because you can't look good if you eat pizza every day.
What'd you do to a pizza?
I said I outlawed it. I don't really eat it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, apparently there's a lot of girls out there eating fucking pizza, and I also want to know what this whole deal is. Why do I hear more? And I touched on it at the end of the last episode, and I might have gone a different direction with that. I don't know.
Okay.
Why are dogs so prevalent with females nowadays? Why do I always got to hear about petting your dog? And if you have a dog, I love you, and we'll get married with all the dogs. What is this? I don't get it.
You have a wiener dog.
Well,
John,
fucking rightfully so.
And Bam is amazing. I think.
What is this, Cory?
I think it shows. This is me guessing because I don't like dogs, and I don't. Once again, don't deal with it. I think it's because I'm not single.
I think that is. Bring Trey in. Ask Trey.
Yeah. I think it's a nurturing thing. If a guy has a dog, a girl thinks that
I think there's a connection to the penis.
Yeah, Trey agrees with me. Trajan agrees with me on that. I think it has the thing like that. Oh, well, they don't kill this thing, so they are probably some type of nice.
Just because you don't murder something, you're a good.
Yeah, potentially.
Tell Trey he's never speaking again. I've heard him say 4 words in my whole life, and he will never speak again on this podcast.
He just said the 5th.
That was the 5th word.
That's what I think. I think that's what it is. I think it. When girls see guys that are walking dogs, especially those little dogs, they're like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah, Cory, it wasn't like that 10 years ago. And guess what? Dogs existed 10 years ago.
Yeah, you'd probably be rolling with like a pit or something, like some gangster
Yeah,
shit.
but why? So why didn't they talk about petting dogs all the time?
Yeah, I don't know. This is like some whole like stuff that ain't even in my wheelhouse anymore.
But this is this is what's going on. It's not in my wheel. I don't understand it. So what happens?
So if I just got a little dog and ate a lot of pizza, I'd have some fucking problems.
No, I don't think you would have problems.
how
I
that
think
works?
you'd have a lot of female support that I'm trying to figure out
Female
if it's
support.
sexually loaded or not.
I think everything's sexually loaded, Fosco.
Well,
That sounds
there's
about
like
accurate.
5 different things I could say, but I'm just not going there.
Hey, but hey, on the
On
real,
the real
though,
in the
I
streets?
like on the real in the streets. I like the fuck off 5 or whatever we decided to call it at the end, where we just talk
Corey, tell them about the
whatever
BMX
fuck
Mafia before we go. Just give them some
All right,
context to it.
I will. So the BMX Mafia is an inside joke that we have at our office in Newark, and anybody that's been close to it. Because if you go around, and that's Newark, Ohio, not New Jersey,
Newark
there
with a
is
K.
there is a select group of esteemed
Not
individuals
esteemed at all.
that only travel by BMX,
And they have pegs. They have
that
pegs on the
are
back too.
pegs on the back that are probably between 35 and 50 years
Maybe
old,
60.
for sure. Always rocking backpacks and must be running the most fucking meth you've ever seen in your life in this area. And you see them at everywhere at all
7
times.
a.m.
Yes.
Hair blowing in the wind.
And so
they got like Haros.
these cats have been living rough.
They've been
in
living
streets,
rough, dude.
and they have became the BMX Mafia
Without a
because I don't
doubt.
believe any of them can drive. I came through downtown like at 1 a.m. one time because I was coming back from something, and these cats was like 9 deep,
You better watch
meeting
out,
up on
son.
something. But then when they disperse,
Hey,
bro,
they move quick.
they are making it happen out here with these meth labs or whatever's going on. And you don't want to fuck with the BMX Mafia. I hope I don't get a bad rap because I'm still in Newark sometimes. John's not, but I don't want to get fucking taken by the BMX Mafia. We can't talk about this anymore.
Listen, I think we're showing them a lot of respect because mafia is organized crime.
It is. Oh, it's organized.
I'm not even saying that they commit a crime. All I'm saying is they're a cultural phenomenon that exists near the office, and they're a special group of gentlemen.
I haven't seen or met the Don Corleone of the BMX Mafia,
apparently you're not important enough yet, Corey, I'm not. I haven't because I have, ring yet, and there was no ring kissing. We talked business, bro. A lot of bike business.
What we should have done was when Theo came, we should have had Theo go out in pursuit to find.
They would have welcomed
amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, John. I think it's time to wrap it up. Hey, make sure you guys like, subscribe, give us a testimonial on how John's segment changed your life.
Obviously, it did.
Of course, it did. It's brought to you by
Corey. It's called subscribe.
John.
It's called subscribe.
Subscribe.
Tell a friend.
But lastly, John, of course, Johnny Fosco. Can the podcast be stopped?
The podcast
can be
stopped.